The morning in the three-generation home glowed with the first light of day. Helen rose early, quietly preparing a special breakfast her children loved. The scent of freshly brewed coffee and warm baked bread drifted through the kitchen, filling the air with warmth and familiarity. On the worn wooden table, each dish tied to Mark and Emily's childhood was carefully arranged, every flavour carrying their mother's love. The door opened, and Mark and Emily stepped in, weary from long days of demanding work. Helen's eyes lit with joy, her gentle smile erasing the distance of time. Yet behind the happiness of seeing her children, worry lingered. She studied them, dark circles beneath their eyes, shoulders heavy with stress. "You must remember to take care of your health," she said softly, her voice a blend of affection and gentle reproach. That evening, the warm house glowed under soft golden light. Everything seemed peaceful until the door creaked open. Mark and Emily entered again, tired from another long day. Their faces carried the marks of strain, their eyes a little red from lack of sleep. George, who had been waiting, furrowed his brow as he glanced at the clock. "Late again," he said, his tone firm though quiet. "Dinner is cold. Everyone has been waiting too long." The air grew heavy. Mark sighed, feeling the weight of work and now his father's disapproval. Emily offered a gentle apology, explaining that work had unexpectedly run late, but George's frustration lingered. The clink of a spoon against a plate sounded harsh in the silence. Mark looked around and briefly imagined moving out for more freedom. The thought, fleeting as it was, left his heart heavy. Sensing the tension, Helen stepped forward and lightly placed a hand on her husband's shoulder. "George, I know you worry for the children, but today they've worked so hard," she said softly. Her kind eyes turned toward Mark and Emily, offering comfort and encouragement. Helen's calmness was like a cool breeze, easing the tightness in the room. George exhaled, his gaze softening. Mark and Emily sat down, sharing dinner in thoughtful silence. That quiet moment reminded them all that family bonds require listening and understanding to remain strong. After that tense evening, several days passed in an unusual quiet. Helen continued tending the kitchen and small garden as always, but a faint unease filled her heart. Then one evening, while preparing dinner, she suddenly felt dizzy and had to be taken to the hospital for observation. The news shocked Mark, Emily, and George. They rushed to the hospital, burdened with fear and deep regret. In the stark white hospital room, the steady beep of the heart monitor echoed. Helen rested peacefully, her face gentle though slightly pale. Mark held her hand tightly, feeling its familiar warmth. Emily sat beside her, eyes glistening. "Don't worry, Mom," she whispered. George stood quietly at the foot of the bed, his eyes reflecting both remorse and love. No one spoke much, but the silence itself told them that family mattered far more than schedules or sharp words. A few days later, when Helen came home, the whole house seemed to brighten. That morning, Mark and Emily decided to cook dinner together to welcome their mother back. The familiar kitchen filled with the rhythm of chopping vegetables, the aroma of hot soup, and the sweetness of fresh bread. They cooked and teased each other, laughter ringing through the house. Helen and George sat at the table, quietly watching. The warm golden light reflected a simple joy in their eyes. When dinner was served, the four of them gathered around, sharing old stories, cherished memories, and small hopes for the future. In that moment, every distance and tension melted away. They realized that love, care, and understanding are the strongest ties of all. Family is not just a place to return to, it is where we learn to listen, to cherish every second together, and to build a home filled with laughter and irreplaceable affection. As dinner ended, they lingered at the table, candlelight flickering across familiar faces. Mark and Emily listened to their parents' gentle laughter, a deep sense of peace filling their hearts. They suddenly understood that true happiness doesn't lie in distant plans or career achievements, but in these simple moments when the whole family gathers, understands, and loves. George looked at Helen and then at the children, speaking slowly. "The most precious thing isn't how much time we have, but how we choose to spend it together." His words fell into a thoughtful silence, leaving a warmth that lingered in every heart. That night, as moonlight spread across the old roof, each of them felt it clearly. No matter how busy or unpredictable life becomes, family will always be the place to return to, a haven where conflicts fade before steadfast love. And that love, simple yet profound, will always guide them, keeping this home a peaceful anchor through every changing season.